Hello, my name is Patricia Brinkmeyer. Let's explore the equity and ethics of including students with multiple disabilities in a general education art class. There's an opportunity gap present in my school's art classroom. There's more at play than meets the eye. Fairness is the overarching moral foundation, but must be looked at in terms of student access, teacher workload, and paraprofessional responsibilities. My district says it values the arts, but our schools do not prioritize accessibility in art like they do for literacy and math. Remember when you were a kid and got to explore with art materials? Maybe you loved the feeling of clay, looking at the vibrant colors of paint, the satisfaction of cutting through paper, or the joy of creating something with manipulatives. You made something. Now, imagine being a child sitting in a wheelchair that doesn't fit under the table. Your vision is impaired, you have little to no functional use of your hands, and you are nonverbal. The physical structure is not designed with you in mind. In 2016, Jay Derby pointed out that ableism differs from racism in that it operates below our cultural radar and remains socially acceptable. Students who are nonverbal and not mobile are easy to overlook. They don't make a fuss and are usually just happy being in the class. But is that enough? Ethically, I believe it's our responsibility to ensure equal access regardless of disabilities. This raises questions like, how do we engage them? Why isn't it happening now? And who is responsible for the adaptations and modifications needed? The Model Code of Ethics for Educators says integration in Gen Ed art class demonstrates professional competence to act in the best interests of all students and is an attempt to close opportunity gaps. With the skills of intellectual and cultural humility learned from Module 4, I needed to take a closer look at inclusion from the perspective of the principal, teachers, and paraprofessionals, rather than just the students. Modifying lessons takes time and planning, and art teachers are already planning for multiple classes. Special educators are already designing individualized core curriculum for each student. Still, these students have the right to be engaged in art class. How do we fix this dilemma? How do we both meet the required standards and make it meaningful and accessible for all students? And how do we do it in a way that's sustainable? I spoke with a colleague who teaches students similar to mine and has been in the district for many years. She said that there used to be a separate art class for our students. It was engaging for the students and paraeducators. This supports what I know about students needing small group or one-on-one settings to focus. However, it's in stark contrast to the current inclusion that I know they're entitled to. Art is a form of expression. My team is constantly trying to find ways to help students express themselves. I believe that stifling their art experience is diminishing their voice and lessening their value in the classroom. According to Coleman and Kramer, active participation in the art classroom provides students with disabilities a voice in expressing their ideas. We need to help them find that voice, not stifle it. I approached my principal with curiosity and an effort to gather knowledge and mind the gap between what I know and don't know, as we learned about in the video featuring Monica Guzman. He told me that when they stopped having segregated art, it was left up to teachers to figure out how to integrate students. He has seen varying levels of teacher accommodations made, but the best results come from well-prepared paraprofessionals. The principal and I agree that paraeducators play a key role in inclusion. Unfortunately, right now they hate going. They feel separated from their group, not confident with assistive technology, and do not feel comfortable modifying tools or assignments given out by the art teacher. Most have never even had a conversation with her. I now realize that I should do more to prepare them and to collaborate with the art teacher. I hadn't considered that art teachers may have never encountered students like mine before, but according to Bagetsky et al. In 2023, many art education majors only have one special ed course during their training, which does not include collaboration skills or how to read an IEP. They are encouraged to make accommodations, but not introduced to modified materials or to any assistive technology. All teachers need to understand assistive technology, communication systems, and the role of paraeducators. With their communication devices and trained paraeducators, kids with disabilities can actively participate and contribute and should have those expectations. I want to be a resource so students feel valued and engaged in every classroom, and teachers and paras feel confident in how to interact and include them. Our art teacher wants to include everyone, but doesn't have the materials, knowledge, or time to modify every lesson. She wants to work with paras, but doesn't know how. To be fair, she serves hundreds of students of varying grades and ability levels, and has many paras coming in her room with differing personalities every day. How can I expect her to add more to her day when I can't find time in my own? A 2015 study done by Kramer et al. Found that while nearly 91% of art teachers are confident that they understand the needs of students without disabilities, slightly less than 30% of these same art teachers feel confident with students with physical, visual, severe, and multiple disabilities. This is a staggering difference. We need to find a way to bridge this gap. In order for us all to experience the sweet success of inclusion, we have roles we must play. Burdick and Castan Theo Harris' 2012 article says that art education is not the responsibility of a paraeducator just because they are present with the student. The art teacher is still ultimately responsible for all instruction and learning in their classroom, so they must be better equipped. ProjectCore.com is a great resource for those wanting to learn more about communication. I have taken many of the free online PD modules and think it's a great resource for anyone who works with students with communication needs. It's based on the most used 36 universal vocabulary words and has free downloads like the one shown to use with individual students or hang on the wall in your classroom. According to Kelly Gross in 2020, art is a form of communication. They recommend that art teachers identify key vocabulary words that students could focus on in each art class and help students understand art literacy, like earth tones are blue, green, and brown, and creating visual schedules to help with directions and transitions in the art classroom. Another great resource based on communication as literacy is pathstoliteracy.org. Free lesson plans and strategies are available for use with students with visual impairments and multiple disabilities. A simple search for art gives several pages of ideas for art that's adapted to the needs of students. Materials may need to be created, but detailed instructions are usually given. It's time to step out of my comfort zone. Using the 5 Whys strategy from Module 2, I realized that if something is going to change, I need to take action now. It's time to resist my flight instinct that tries to take over when I'm in a stressful situation, and fight for effective inclusion by presenting information about disabilities and explicitly teaching and modeling strategies. But it cannot all be on me. This has to be sustainable. I only had one art class in college and I don't know anything about art standards. My school needs to prioritize and set aside ongoing time for paraprofessionals, art, and special ed teachers to collaborate regularly so we can create some universal tools and then work on specific lessons. It will be work, but it will be worth it.